When a woman hurts you and then comes back, the most dangerous thing is not her return. The most dangerous thing is what her return does to the weak part of you that still wants the pain to mean something. Because the moment her name appears on your phone, your mind starts moving fast. You remember the good moments. You remember the way she used to talk to you. You remember the version of her that made you feel chosen. And for a few seconds, you forget what she did, how she left, how cold she became, how confused she made you feel, and how long you had to sit with that pain alone. That is where most men lose themselves again. They do not lose because she comes back. They lose because they treat her return like proof that everything is fixed. They answer too quickly, they forgive too cheaply, they forget the lesson too easily. They hand over full access because their heart is still hungry for the woman who hurt them. And in a few minutes, you are going to understand the real reason she comes back after hurting you. Not the fantasy reason, not the emotional reason you want to believe, the real reasons. And before this is over, you will know how to stay calm when she returns, how to protect your self respect, and how to tell the difference between a woman who truly regrets hurting you and a woman who only misses the access she lost. Because a woman coming back does not automatically mean love. It does not automatically mean change. It does not automatically mean she understands what she did. And it definitely does not mean you should become the same man she already hurt once. The first truth is simple. Sometimes she comes back because your absence finally became real. When she hurt you, pulled away, ignored you, chose distance, acted cold, or walked out like your feelings were not important. Maybe she expected you to chase. Maybe she expected the emotional message. Maybe she expected you to ask why. Maybe she expected you to keep proving your love even after she damaged your peace. But then you did something different. You did not chase. You did not beg. You did not keep explaining your heart to someone who already knew she heard it. You stepped back, and that step back changed the dynamic because as long as you keep showing up after someone hurts you, they never fully feel the consequence of losing access to you. They may hurt you and still get your attention. They may go cold and still get your warmth. They may create distance and still know you are waiting. They may break your trust and still receive your emotional energy like nothing happened. That teaches them something dangerous. It teaches them that your love has no boundary. It teaches them that your pain has no consequence. It teaches them that your self respect disappears when you are afraid of losing them. A man with dignity does not teach that lesson. If she hurts you and you keep chasing, you show her that pain makes you easier to control. If she disrespects you and you keep giving more, you show her that disrespect increases your effort. If she ignores you and you become more available, you show her that your standards are weaker than your attachment. Do not do that. A self respecting man does not reward hurt with desperation. He does not become cruel. He does not insult her. He does not try to destroy her emotionally. He does not play childish games. He simply removes his energy from a place where it was not respected. That is not revenge. That is balance. If she hurt you, she has to feel what life is like without the easy access she once had to your attention, your warmth, your patience, your loyalty, your forgiveness, and your emotional presence. Not because you want to punish her, because you finally understand your value. You cannot be missed if you refuse to become absent, and most men refuse to become absent. They say they are done, but they keep checking her stories. They say they are moving on, but they still ask mutual friends about her. They say they are not chasing, but every post, every song, every picture, every change in their life is secretly designed for her reaction. That is not absence, that is performance. Real absence is clean. It does not beg, it does not announce itself. It does not say, "Look at me, I am moving on." It simply steps back and returns to life. That is when she may begin to feel the loss, not when you are shouting. Not when you are explaining, not when you are proving, when you are gone for real, but listen carefully. Her feeling the loss is not the same as her being ready to respect you. That is where men make the mistake. A woman can miss you and still not be ready to treat you right. A woman can regret losing your attention and still not be mature enough to repair what she damaged. A woman can come back because she feels your absence, but that does not mean she has changed inside. So when she comes back, do not let your loneliness choose for you. Observe the second reason she may come back after hurting you is guilt. Guilt can sound like love if you are still emotionally hungry. She may say, "I'm sorry." She may say, "I never meant to hurt you." She may say, I hope you don't hate me. She may say, I've been thinking about how things ended. And then those words can touch the part of you that waited for her to finally understand. But guilt is not always love. Guilt wants relief. Love wants repair. Guilt wants you to say, it's okay. Love is willing to sit with the discomfort of accountability. Guilt wants to feel forgiven. Love wants to rebuild trust through changed behavior. That difference matters because if she comes back only because she feels bad, she may not be coming back to choose you. She may be coming back to clean her conscience. She may want to know you are not angry. She may want to feel like she is still a good person. She may want your forgiveness without actually doing the work to earn your trust again. A man with self respect can accept an apology without giving full access. That is important. You can say, I appreciate you saying that without saying, come back into my life like nothing happened. You can forgive someone in your heart without returning to the same dynamic. You can be peaceful without being available. You can let go of bitterness without lowering your standards. That is maturity. A weak man hears an apology and thinks the relationship is fixed. A grounded man hears an apology and watches what comes next because words can open the door, but behavior decides whether the door should stay open. If she hurt you and comes back with real accountability, her words will not be vague. She will not make you feel like you are wrong for being hurt. She will not turn everything back on you. She will not say sorry only to get sympathy. She will not rush you to forget. A woman who genuinely understands the hurt she caused will respect your pace. She will understand that trust does not return just because she feels emotional today. She will understand that access to you has to be earned again. But if she apologizes and then gets annoyed that you are not instantly open, that tells you something. If she says sorry but avoids responsibility, that tells you something. If she wants comfort from you while ignoring the pain she caused, that tells you something. Do not ignore information just because your heart wants the fantasy. The third reason she may come back is loneliness. This one is dangerous because loneliness often comes dressed like love. She may not miss the relationship. She may miss being wanted. She may miss having someone who cared. She may miss the comfort you gave her. She may miss knowing that one message from her could bring your attention back. She may miss your emotional availability, your patience, your consistency, your warmth. But missing comfort is not the same as valuing the man. Some people come back because life becomes quiet, the excitement fades, the distraction ends, the other option disappoints them, the nights feel longer, the phone feels emptier, and suddenly the person they hurt starts looking safe again. That does not make them evil, it makes them human. But you must not become emotional medicine for someone who has not chosen you with clarity. If she comes back because she is lonely, she may be warm at night and distant in the morning. She may say she misses you, but avoid a real conversation. She may bring up memories, but avoid responsibility. She may want your attention, but not your standards. That is not a real return. That is emotional borrowing. And a man with self respect does not let someone borrow his peace because they are lonely. If she says, I miss you, do not melt immediately. You can say, I hear you. What made you reach out? That question is simple, calm, and powerful. It moves the conversation from emotion to intention. A woman with real intention will not be scared of clarity. A woman who only wanted comfort may avoid it. That tells you what you need to know because a soft message is not enough. A lonely night is not enough. A familiar feeling is not enough. You need consistency. You need accountability. You need respect. You need to know whether she wants to repair something real or just touch the old comfort for a moment. A man who has been hurt must learn to move slowly, not coldly slowly, because if you rush back into access, you may return to the same pain with a softer entrance. The fourth reason she may come back is that in another situation did not give her what she expected. This hurts to hear, but it is real. Sometimes a woman hurts you because she thinks life without you will feel better. Maybe she thought someone else was more exciting. Maybe she thought freedom would feel lighter. Maybe she thought your presence was always going to be there if she changed her mind. Maybe she took your consistency for granted because it became familiar. Then reality arrives. The new attention does not feel as safe. The other person does not show the same patience. The excitement fades. The fantasy becomes normal. The grass does not look as green once she has to live in it. And now she remembers you. She remembers your loyalty. She remembers your effort. She remembers your patience. She remembers how you listened. She remembers that even when you were imperfect, you showed up with a real heart. But listen carefully, you are not a backup plan. You are not a safety net. You are not a place someone returns to only because another door closed. So if she comes back after discovering that the other situation did not work, you must not let your ego celebrate too quickly. Do not say, I knew he was not better. Do not insult the other man. Do not become emotional cleanup for someone who chose to hurt you. Stay centered. If she wants access again, she must come with more than disappointment. She must come with clarity, accountability, and consistent effort. Regret alone is not enough. A person can regret losing you and still not be ready to respect you. A person can realize you were good to them and still not have the maturity to treat you properly. A person can miss your safety without being ready to honor your heart. That is why you observe. Does she take responsibility? Does she respect your pace? Does she understand why trust changed? Does she show consistency over time? Or does she only want the comfort she lost? A weak man hears, I miss you, and forgets the whole story. A grounded man hears, I miss you, and watches the next chapter carefully. Do not forget what happened just because she remembers what she lost. The fifth reason she may come back is curiosity. Curiosity is subtle. It does not always come with apology. It does not always come with emotional confession. Sometimes it comes as a small message. Hey, how have you been? Hope you're doing okay. A reaction to your story, a like on something she never used to like, a random question she could have answered herself. And if you are not careful, you will treat curiosity like love. Many women do not come back directly at first. They test the door. They want to see if access is still there. They want to know whether you are still waiting. They want to see whether one small signal can still pull the old version of you back. This is where many men fail. She sends one small message and he pours out everything. He replies instantly. He writes too much. He asks if she misses him. He asks why she hurt him. He tries to turn one small message into a full emotional conversation. And suddenly she feels the same pressure again. Do not do that. A small signal is not a full return. A hey is not accountability. A story view is not love. A late night text is not change. A woman testing the door is not the same as a woman walking through it with respect. So if she reaches out casually, match it with calm energy. If she says, hey, you can say, hey, hope you're doing well. That is enough. Then observe. Does she bring substance? Does she show real effort? Does she explain why she reached out? Does she show respect or does she disappear once she sees you are not easy emotional access anymore? That tells you everything. A man with self respect does not chase clarity from vague effort. Vague effort gets calm distance. Clear effort can receive clear attention. That is the standard. And if she only came back to see if she still has power over you, your calmness will expose that. Not with anger, with self control. Now, let us talk about the biggest mistake men make when a woman hurts them and comes back. They forgive too fast because they are afraid the opportunity will disappear. They think, if I act too calm, she may leave again. They think, if I ask for too much clarity, she may pull away. They think, if I have boundaries, she may think I do not care. So they become easy. Too easy. She hurt them, then returns with a soft message, and they open the whole door. That is not love. That is fear. A man must understand this. If your boundaries scare her away, then she was not returning with respect. She was returning for access. Real love can handle calm standards. Real interest can handle patience. Real accountability can handle discomfort. You do not need to be rude. You do not need to punish. You do not need to make her suffer. But you do need to stop making reentry cheap. Access to you should not be automatic after someone hurt you. Your peace has value. Your attention has value. Your forgiveness has value. Your forgiveness has value. Your trust has value. And trust is not rebuilt by one emotional message. Trust is rebuilt by repeated behavior. If she comes back, do not rush to fix the whole thing in one conversation. Do not try to get certainty immediately. Do not ask 10 questions from panic. Do not pour out all your pain just because she opened the door slightly. Stay calm. You can be warm without being weak. You can be open without being hungry. You can be respectful without being easily available. You can care and still move slowly. That is the balance. Now, here is what you must do when she comes back. Before you answer, pause. Do not respond from shock. Do not respond from excitement. Do not respond from pain. Do not respond from revenge. Take a breath and ask yourself what kind of man is about to reply. The man who is waiting, the man who healed, the man who still needs her. the man who has standards? That question matters because your reply is not only a message to her, it is a message to yourself. If you respond like the old desperate version of you, you tell yourself that nothing changed. If you respond with calm self respect, you prove that the pain taught you something. If she says, I miss you, you can say, I hear you. What made you reach out? If she says, I'm sorry, you can say, I appreciate you saying that. If she says, I've been thinking about us, you can say, I understand. What do you want to do with that? If she says, can we talk? You can say, we can talk, but I'm not rushing back into anything. These are not games, these are calm boundaries. They do not attack her, they do not beg her, they do not punish her. They invite clarity, and clarity is what you need after someone hurt you, because confusion is where weak men get trapped. A woman can come back with emotion, but still bring confusion. She can say she misses you, but not know what she wants. She can say she regrets it, but still avoid responsibility. She can say she wants to talk, but only text late at night. She can say she cares, but still act inconsistent. Do not listen only to the emotion. Watch the pattern. Consistency reveals what emotion hides. That line matters. Consistency reveals what emotion hides. Anyone can feel emotional for one night. Anyone can miss what they lost. Anyone can say the right words when loneliness hits. But not everyone can show respect over time. So move slowly. Let time reveal intention. Do not let hope erase wisdom. Now, maybe you are still hurt. Maybe part of you wants to punish her. Maybe part of you wants to make her feel what you felt. Maybe part of you wants to ignore her just so she suffers. Be careful. That is not strength. That is pain trying to become control. A strong man does not need revenge to feel powerful. He does not need to hurt someone back to prove he was hurt. He does not need to make her beg so he can feel valuable again. Real power is quieter. Real power says, I do not need to destroy you. I just refuse to abandon myself again. That is maturity. You can be honest without being cruel. You can have boundaries without being bitter. You can step back without playing games. You can forgive without reopening the door. You can care and still say, this is not healthy for me. That is real masculine strength. Because the goal is not to make her suffer. The goal is to stop suffering from the same pattern. If she hurt you in returns, the question is not only does she want me back, the better question is this return healthy for the man I am becoming? That question will protect you because the old you may accept anything. The old you may be grateful for a reply. The old you may ignore the damage just to feel close again. The old you may confuse her return with your worth. But the new you moves differently. The new you is not cruel. The new you is not bitter. The new you is not trying to win revenge. The new you is calm. The new you asks for clarity. The new you watches actions. The new you protects peace. The new you understands that getting her back is not the highest goal. Getting yourself back is why the 7 day reset matters, even if she comes back. For the next 7 days, do not message her first from panic. Do not check her stories. Do not ask mutual friends about her. Do not post to get her attention. Do not make emotional decisions at night. Do not reread old messages until your chest hurts. Do not let her return destroy the routine you are building. Put that energy into training, work, money, sleep, discipline, faith, emotional control, and rebuilding your identity. Train your body even if your heart is confused. Clean your space even if your emotions feel messy. Fix your sleep because tired men make weak decisions. Eat properly because heartbreak drains your mind. Walk when anxiety hits. Write what you want to send, but do not send it from panic. Put your phone away before midnight. Build your day before your emotions build it for you. This is not about pretending you do not care. It is about proving that her return does not own you any more than her absence did. A man who only has control when she is gone does not have real control. Real control is when she returns and you still stay centered. That is the test. Can you hear from her without losing your routine? Can you see her name without losing your frame? Can you listen without forgetting what happened? Can you be kind without becoming easy? Can you be open without becoming desperate? That is where growth becomes real. Many men survive the silence and fail the return. They spend weeks rebuilding, then she comes back and they hand over their piece in one conversation. Do not become that man. If she returns, let her meet the man the pain created, not a bitter man, a stronger man, a man who has standards now, a man who does not beg, a man who does not chase confusion, a man who can love deeply and still protect himself. That is the man you need to become. Now, there is another reason she may come back after hurting you. She may come back because she finally respects the way you handled the pain. This is rare but powerful. Maybe she expected you to chase. You did not. Maybe she expected you to insult her. You did not. Maybe she expected drama. You gave silence. Maybe she expected weakness. You gave dignity. Maybe she expected you to orbit her life. You returned to your own. That creates a memory. People remember the ones who did not lose themselves, especially when they expected them to. A woman may hurt a man and later realize that his reaction revealed more strength than she expected. She may think he really cared, but he did not beg. She may think he was hurt, but he stayed composed. She may think, I thought he would chase me, but he chose himself. That kind of memory can create respect, but again, you cannot make that the mission. If you act dignified only so she respects you, your dignity is still attached to her reaction. If you go silent only so she notices, your silence is still needy. If you rebuild only to make her regret, your growth is still controlled by her. The mission is not her regret. The mission is your self respect. If she notices, fine. If she does not, your life still improves. That is how you know your growth is real. Now ask yourself honestly, why do you want her back? Do you want her back because she is truly good for your peace or because her hurting you made you feel rejected? Do you miss her character or do you miss the version of yourself you felt like when she wanted you? Do you want a healthy relationship or do you want the pain reversed? These questions may hurt, but they matter because sometimes you do not want the person back. You want the wound to close. You want your ego repaired. You want proof that she still values you. You want to feel chosen again by the same person who made you feel unwanted. That is understandable. But it can also be dangerous. If you are only trying to reverse rejection, you may accept someone who is not actually healthy for you. You may ignore the same red flags. You may confuse intensity with love. You may mistake her return for healing. Her return is not your healing. Your self respect is your healing. Your discipline is your healing. Your ability to stay calm is your healing. Your ability to walk away from repeated hurt is your healing. That is why you must not make her return the prize. Peace is the prize. Clarity is the prize. Self respect is the prize. A relationship without those things is not a prize. It is a cycle, and you are not here to repeat cycles. You are here to grow. Now, if she hurt you badly, betrayed your trust, humiliated you, disrespected you, or repeatedly played with your emotions, you do not owe her access just because she came back. That sentence matters. You do not owe her access just because she came back. A familiar face does not erase the damage. A soft message does not erase the pattern. A tearful apology does not erase the need for change behavior. If she wants to return, she must respect the cost of what happened. And if she cannot, you step back, not with hatred, with clarity. A man with self respect can say, I care about you, but I am not available for the same dynamic. That is strength. A man can say, I appreciate the apology, but trust would take time. That is strength. A man can say, I am open to a conversation, but I am not rushing into anything. That is strength. You do not need to yell. You do not need to prove your pain. You do not need to punish her with silence. You simply move with standards. Standards are not speeches, standards are actions. A standard is not, you better never hurt me again. A standard is, if the same pattern returns, I will step back. A standard is not, you need to prove you care right now. A standard is, I will watch consistency over time. A standard is not, you cannot leave me. A standard is, if you leave, I will not chase you into loving me. That is power. Now, if she does not come back or if she comes back wrong, you still have to keep walking. This is where many men struggle. They want the script to end with her regret. They want her to come back crying. They want her to admit she was wrong. They want her to realize no one will treat her like they did. Maybe she will. Maybe she will not. But your life cannot depend on that. If she never comes back, you still win if you do not lose yourself. If she comes back without respect, you still win if you do not accept infusion. If she comes back with real accountability, you move slowly and decide from strength. In every case, your power is your center, not her behavior, not her message, not her apology. Your center, a centered man is not easy to control. He can feel pain and still not chase. He can miss someone and still not beg. He can hear an apology and still watch behavior. He can forgive and still choose distance. That is freedom, and freedom is attractive because it does not beg. A needy man says, please come back so I can feel okay. A free man says, if you return with respect, I will listen. If you do not, I will keep walking. That is a different energy. And that energy is what makes a woman realize she cannot pull the same version of you back anymore. She hurt the old you, but she does not get automatic access to the new you. That is the point. You are not the same man if the pain taught you something. You are not the same man if you stopped chasing. You are not the same man if you rebuilt your discipline. You are not the same man if you learn to protect your peace. You are not the same man if you can love someone and still choose yourself. That is transformation. So tonight, if she has come back after hurting you, do not rush. Put the phone down for a moment, breathe, ride the message slowly. Do not respond from the wound. Do not respond from ego. Do not respond from loneliness. Respond from the man you are becoming. And if she has not come back, stop waiting like your life is paused. Train, work, sleep, build, pray, walk, improve, become steady, become clear, become proud of how you handled the pain. Because whether she returns or not, you will have to live with the man you became after she hurt you. Become a man you respect. That is the real win. When she hurt you, she may have expected you to chase. She may have expected you to break. She may have expected you to stay available. She may have expected you to forgive easily. She may have expected the old pattern, but you do not have to give her that. You can choose silence with dignity. You can choose distance without bitterness. You can choose boundaries without cruelty. You can choose growth instead of revenge. You can choose yourself. And once a man learns to choose himself after being hurt, he becomes harder to break, harder to manipulate, harder to pull into chaos, harder to make insecure, harder to turn into an option. That man is remembered. That man is respected. That man is free. So remember this. She may come back after hurting you because she feels your absence. She may come back because guilt is heavy. She may come back because loneliness got loud. She may come back because another situation failed. She may come back because curiosity brought her to the door. She may come back because she genuinely reflected. But your response must be the same at the center: calm, clear, upon, self respecting. You do not rush. You do not punish. You do not collapse. You listen. You observe. You let actions prove what words cannot. And if her return is real, consistency will show it. If her return is false, confusion will show it. Either way, you stay grounded because the deepest truth is this: the goal is not to make the woman who hurt you come back. The goal is to become the man who no longer loses himself when she does.